English Talk Show. Learn English through real conversations.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the English Talk Show podcast. I'm Peter.
And I'm Erica. We're thrilled you're here. Today's episode is all about something every learner struggles with, vocabulary.
That's right. As an English learner, sometimes you hit a wall when reading, talking, or even listening. You just can't find the right word.
But don't worry, there's a formula to learn and use 1,000 English words, and we'll teach it to you today.
So stick around until the end of the video. It's going to be packed with practical tips.
And while you're here, make sure to subscribe and comment where in the world you're listening from.
We love greeting our global audience in the next episode.
Okay, let's dive in. First, the problem. You want to improve your vocabulary, but it feels impossible.
You memorize hundreds of words, but when you speak, your mind goes blank.
Or you start strong, then get tired, and often give up completely.
I totally get it. I felt the same when I was studying Korean. I'd learn a ton, then crash after a few weeks.
Exactly. That pattern of start, tire, stop is what we need to break.
Now, the solution. 3 words lead to 1,000 words. Intrigued?
Don't worry, we'll explain. It's all about memorization, repetition, learning, and using in a clear daily cycle.
This formula ensures you not only memorize new words, but also apply them in real conversations.
And it's simple. Select, memorize, visualize, apply, and review over a 16-day cycle.
Today, we'll cover the first phase, select.
In day 1, select just 3 new words. That's it, 3 words.
You can choose them from anything you're reading or watching in English. TV shows, articles, magazines.
Or even from words you already know. Just find a synonym. If you know big, pick enormous.
By selecting only 3 per day, you avoid feeling overwhelmed.
And you build a consistent habit. 3 words every single day.
Up next, memorize. But we'll dive into that in the next section.
Ready for more? Stay with us as we break down each step so you can learn and use 1,000 words.
All right, let's move on to the memorize phase.
On the second day, you still select 3 new words, but you also memorize yesterday's 3 words.
Start by reviewing each word's definition out loud or in your mind.
Then create simple flashcards, word on one side, meaning on the other.
Time yourself. Aim to recognize and recall all 3 in under 30 seconds.
That little challenge turns memorization into a fun game.
And remember, you only have 3 cards. That's doable and motivating.
While you study, look away and try to recall the meaning from memory.
If you get stuck, glance at the card, then try again immediately.
Repetition like this cements the words in your long-term memory.
Okay, now let's talk about visualize, step 3 in our cycle.
Visualization taps into your brain's love of images. Close your eyes, think of the word, and notice what picture comes to mind.
Next, find a matching image online or draw a quick sketch yourself.
Then make image flashcards, picture on top, word on the bottom.
When you see the picture, name the word. When you see the word, picture it.
This dual approach, text and image, boosts retention exponentially.
Plus, it makes your study session more engaging and less monotonous. You're not just reading definitions, you're creating mental connections.
And those connections help you retrieve the words effortlessly during conversation.
Try it with all 3 words every day, alongside flashcards and images.
By day 3, you'll be juggling select, memorize, and visualize for words 1 to 3 while selecting new ones.
It feels like a dance, each step building on the last.
And with practice, the steps become second nature, almost automatic.
You'll notice your recall speed skyrocketing.
Yes, suddenly you can pull up words without that awkward pause.
And that gap-free flow is what every learner strives for.
Ready to see how to apply these words in real life? We'll cover that shortly.
But first, take a moment after this episode to make your own flashcards and images for today's 3 words.
Then give yourself a high five, because building these habits is the key to learning 1,000 words.
All right, let's dive into the memorize phase of our 16-day cycle.
On day 2, you still select 3 new words, but you also memorize the previous day's words.
First, review each word's definition by reading it aloud or silently in your mind.
Then make simple flashcards, English word on one side, meaning on the other.
Aim to recognize and recall all 3 words in under 30 seconds. Timer set.
That small timing challenge makes memorization feel like a game.
With only 3 cards, the task stays manageable and motivating.
As you quiz yourself, glance at a card only when you genuinely need help.
Immediately after looking, test yourself again to reinforce retention.
Repetition in short, focused bursts cements vocabulary in your long-term memory.
Now let's shift to the visualize step, where images bring words to life.
Close your eyes, say the word, and notice the first mental image that appears.
Next, find or draw a matching picture to represent that word.
Create image flashcards, the picture on top, the word on the bottom.
Practice by naming the word when you see the image and picturing the image when you see the word.
Combining text and visuals taps into multiple areas of your brain for stronger memory.
This varied approach keeps your study sessions dynamic and engaging.
By mixing flashcards and images, you avoid boredom and boost learning efficiency.
Meanwhile, on day 3, you'll juggle, select, memorize, and visualize for words 1 through 3. Plus, you'll select 3 brand new words to start that cycle fresh.
It's like learning a dance. Each step builds on the previous one.
After a few repetitions, the sequence becomes smooth and almost automatic.
You'll notice your recall speed skyrocketing and that pause in conversation disappearing.
Suddenly, the words just pop into your mind, ready for use.
That fluidity is what distinguishes fluent speakers from hesitant ones.
Before we move on to apply, pause and review today's flashcards and images.
Spend a quick 2 minutes testing yourself right after the episode ends.
A tiny daily habit like this compounds into massive vocabulary gains over time.
Trust the process. 3 words, 5 steps, repeated every day.
Keep this up, and you'll be on track to learn and use 1,000 English words effortlessly.
Now that we've covered how to select, memorize, and visualize your daily words, it's time to put them into real use. This is the apply phase.
Exactly. You've seen the words, you've reinforced them in your mind, and now you actually create your own sentences to make each word come alive.
Application means more than just repeating. It requires you to integrate the new vocabulary into situations that matter to you.
For example, if one of your words is enormous, don't just say enormous, frame it around your life. My new apartment has an enormous balcony overlooking the city skyline.
When you embed words in personal contexts, they become part of your own narrative, and that deeply cements them.
And as you speak these sentences aloud, you're training your mouth and brain to work together seamlessly.
On the 3rd day, for instance, you'll be selecting words 4 through 6 while applying words 1 through 3 in sentences you create.
Precisely. Each day's routine overlaps, weaving new learning and active use into a continuous loop.
After a few days of selection, memorization, visualization, and application, you'll notice the words start to feel familiar.
Yet, we're not done. This cycle builds toward a review milestone on day 16, when you consolidate everything.
On the big review day, you'll face all 42 words learned over the previous 15 days in just 5 minutes. You set a timer, reshuffle your flashcards and image cards, and challenge yourself to recall definitions and sentences.
Any words you can't recall go into a review again pile, guaranteeing they get additional focused practice.
That deliberate, intensive review ensures no word slips through the cracks of your memory.
Although it might feel intense, completing that review is incredibly satisfying, and it solidifies your progress.
Then, you begin the next 16-day cycle, carrying forward the momentum and confidence you've built.
Over multiple cycles, 8 of them, to be precise, you'll reach the staggering total of 1,000 words learned and used.
At that point, you'll rarely pause to search for words. Your conversations will flow naturally.
To make this routine stick, link it to an existing habit, your morning coffee, a commute, or your nightly wind down.
Better yet, find a study partner to quiz and support each other through the 1,000-word journey.
Having someone else hold you accountable makes the process more fun, social, and memorable.
Plus, hearing your partner use the words reinforces your own learning through passive listening.
On days when motivation dips, remind yourself of the goals: richer conversations, greater confidence, and unstoppable fluency.
Keep your target in sight. One small step every day leads to monumental breakthroughs over time.
So, right after this episode, choose today's 3 words, create sentences around your life, and share them aloud.
Then, visualize, memorize, and quiz yourself as you move through the day. That multi-step reinforcement is key.
By consistently applying the cycle, select, memorize, visualize, apply, review, you transform passive knowledge into active vocabulary.
Stick with the process, and you'll watch your English grow in depth, nuance, and spontaneity.
Now take out your notebook or flashcards and start creating sentences for the 3 words you picked earlier.
Before you know it, 1,000 English words will be waiting at your fingertips, ready to be used with confidence.
Great job sticking with us through the first 3 phases of the 16-day cycle.
Now let's deepen our engagement by exploring how to maximize retention through daily habits.
One powerful strategy is to use your words in conversation as soon as possible.
Text a friend, post on social media, or comment below using at least one of today's words.
When you see a word in your daily life, on a sign, in an article, pause and say it aloud.
That spontaneous recall cements vocabulary faster than any isolated study session.
Another tip is to group similar words together. If you learn enormous, find gigantic, massive, and compare them.
Creating mini word families helps you recognize patterns and shades of meaning.
Speaking of meaning, don't overlook collocations, words that frequently appear together, like make progress or gain confidence.
When you memorize a new word, note 1 or 2 common collocations with it.
That way, you're not just learning words, you're learning how they naturally fit into English sentences.
To involve our audience, we'd love to see your favorite collocation using this week's words. Drop it in the comments.
We read every comment and shout out a few from around the globe in the next episode.
Hearing where you're from always inspires us. New York, Nairobi, Sao Paulo, or Seoul, we want to know.
Now, let's talk about spaced repetition beyond the 16-day cycle.
After a cycle ends, schedule mini reviews at 1 week, 1 month, and 3 months later.
This long-term reinforcement transforms short-lived gains into permanent mastery.
You can set calendar reminders or use an app to alert you when it's review time.
And don't underestimate the power of teaching others. Explain a word's meaning to a friend or family member.
Teaching forces you to articulate the concept clearly, which strengthens your own understanding.
If you're enjoying these insights, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for future episodes.
We've got 1,000 words ahead of us. Let's tackle them together, one day at a time.
Also, share this episode with a study buddy so you can keep each other accountable.
You'll be amazed at how quickly you progress when you have support.
Now, take a moment to reflect. Which strategy so far resonated with you the most?
Write it in the comments and we'll discuss your feedback in our next live stream.
As you continue, remember to balance intensity with fun. Language learning should be joyful.
Experiment with games, quizzes, or even vocabulary challenges with friends. These creative approaches keep motivation high and boredom low.
Up next, we'll explore advanced techniques for contextual immersion, so stay tuned. Hey, Erica, you mentioned contextual immersion earlier. What exactly does that look like in practice?
Contextual immersion means weaving English into your everyday environments, like turning your phone's language to English or labeling objects at home.
For instance, stick Post-it notes on furniture with the English names: refrigerator, bookshelf, wardrobe.
Every time you reach for the fridge, you silently say the word in English. It becomes a seamless habit.
Another idea. Follow social media accounts in English that match your interests. Cooking, technology, fitness.
Scrolling through feeds filled with English text helps you absorb new words and phrases naturally.
You can even watch your favorite shows with English subtitles. Seeing and hearing the language together doubles the impact.
And if you're on a walk, narrate your actions out loud. I'm walking down the street. I see a red car, etc.
That's hilarious, but effective. You're practicing spontaneous speech in real time.
We also recommend journaling in English. Dedicate 5 minutes each evening to write about your day.
Writing without translation forces you to think directly in English, boosting fluency.
Plus, journaling helps you spot recurring words you can add to your flashcard cycle.
Another immersive tactic is language exchanges. Find a partner online to chat with for 15 minutes daily.
You teach them your native language, they teach you English. It's a win-win.
If speaking is hard, start with voice messages. You can record, listen, and improve at your pace.
And don't forget to listen to English music. Look up lyrics and sing along to practice pronunciation.
Audience, what's your favorite immersion strategy? Drop it in the comments. We might feature it next episode.
We love learning from you and hearing your creative immersion methods.
Finally, consider setting themed days. Monday is food day. Tuesday is travel day, and use related vocabulary.
On food day, you describe every meal in English. On travel day, you plan an imaginary trip, detailing destinations.
These themes give variety and prevent study from becoming monotonous.
They also push you to learn domain-specific words, accelerating your vocabulary breadth.
So, to recap, contextual immersion blends English into your life through labeling, media, journaling, exchanges, and themed days.
Try out at least 2 of these strategies this week, then let us know how they work for you.
And remember, consistency is more important than intensity. A little immersion every day beats a marathon once a month.
Exactly. Make English a habit, not a chore.
In this final segment, we'll dive into advanced review techniques to lock in your 1,000 words forever.
First up, interleaved practice. Instead of reviewing one set at a time, mix flashcards from all your cycles.
That unpredictable order forces your brain to work harder, and recall becomes stronger.
Next, try self-testing with fill-in-the-blank quizzes. Write short paragraphs, but leave blanks for your new words.
Then fill them in from memory. This simulates real conversation where you pull words on the fly.
Another tool, record yourself using today's vocabulary in a 3-minute monologue.
Playback helps you catch mispronunciations or hesitations. Correct and re-record for instant feedback.
We also recommend peer reviews. Share your recording with a friend or tutor and get constructive comments.
Watching your own progress over weeks is incredibly motivating.
Now for the memory palace technique. Associate each word with a specific location in your home.
Mentally walk through rooms and see words placed on furniture. This spatial link cements vocabulary.
If you love storytelling, craft a short narrative that uses 10 of your recent words.
Telling a story weaves words into a memorable context, making them unforgettable.
As you go through these reviews, track your accuracy in a spreadsheet or app.
Seeing your daily improvement, 97% correct, 99% correct, fuels your motivation to keep going.
Finally, schedule a monthly word audit. Pick random words from all your cycles and test yourself.
This top-up review stops older words from fading, ensuring your vocabulary remains sharp.
We've come a long way together, selecting, memorizing, visualizing, applying, and reviewing up to 1,000 words.
If you've enjoyed this journey, please subscribe, like, and share with fellow learners.
Don't forget to comment where you're listening from and which review tip you'll try first.
We read every message and love sending shout-outs to our global community.
Also, check out our story-based English channel linked below for extra listening practice.
Thank you for dedicating your time and energy to improving your English with us.
Remember, consistency trumps intensity. Keep your daily habit alive and success will follow.
We're so proud of you for committing to these techniques and for every word you've learned.
Keep practicing, keep exploring new strategies, and most importantly, keep using your English.
That wraps up our epic episode on how to learn and use 1,000 English vocabulary words.
We can't wait to hear about your progress in the comments and in our next live stream.
Until next time, stay curious, stay fearless, and keep expanding your English vocabulary.
See you soon on the English Talk Show podcast. Bye, everyone.